It's been over a month since I've been in the shop working. For someone like me, that's nearly an eternity. So what I needed was something that got me back into a bigger project while not being something that was too overwhelming. I decided that adding a recessed detail area to our ongoing Razor Crest display project was the perfect small project to get me back in the swing of things. So we're going to take some random bits from around the shop and add them to the larger display to develop an area with more interest. If you haven't seen our larger build, then you'll want to have a look at the playlist in the description so you can get caught up on the project. I want to take a minute to tell you about today's sponsor, Into the AM. Into the AM makes fantastic clothing, primarily t-shirts, but also hats, hoodies, joggers, and shorts. They have a continuous line of updated prints and also basic tees that I cannot say enough about. I wear t-shirts in the shop all the time, and I can tell you that they're soft, comfortable, and well-fitting, which are the most important aspects to me when I pick out a t-shirt. They have professionally screen-printed, bold, and eye-catching designs. These screen print designs hold up well to the wash, as well as when I'm putting them through the test in our shop. There are some of the best shirts I have ever owned. They're high quality, exceptional prints, and if you're in need of an awesome geek upgrade to your wardrobe, then you'll want to head over to their website. Make sure you follow the link in our description to get to the site, as that will give you an extra 10% on your entire order. Big thank you to Into the AM for sponsoring this episode and making super awesome graphics for awesome geeks like us. Now back to the build. We essentially have two different recess boxes at this point. This first one here has a bunch of leftover laser cut parts that I glued together, and then a little circuit board down here with a hard drive motor glued on. And on this one, you saw we assembled it out of various parts, again using a hard drive motor and this was a resin cast that Jamie Dole gave me, along with this aluminum plate and the box that's underneath and this binding clip, and then this was just some aluminum pieces. Long story short though, I've got two of these, and the intention was to use them both on the big box. So on the box, we have this main opening. My intention was to recess this piece behind. And then down below, there is the opening that I had intended for this piece to sit behind. And that would work. Both of these pieces would work great in this application. However, I happen to have a really awesome, very large lens from the inside, old school of a CRT projector. And I took it all apart. I actually have three of these guys. And oddly enough, this monster piece actually fits inside of the hole. So at this point, I'm having to make a decision between this very cool lens and these parts that we've put together. I'm gonna go ahead and use this piece down below, utilize the lens up top, and then I'm gonna save this for use somewhere else. It's probably not on this project, but I'll save use for it in somewhere in the room build. The reason I want to use this guy is because I have this very cool lens. Old projectors are a treasure trove of very cool parts, especially as it pertains to the actual pieces that you get out of them. So what we're going to do is put this guy in place here, mark it out, and then we'll drill the 4 holes and then mount that in place. And for that, I pulled out one of my hex head kits. So these are M2 through M5. I buy these kits through Amazon, fairly cheap. And then you've got a whole assortment of different hex head bolts. Because, you know, if you use a Phillips screw anywhere, someone will give you a whole lot of grief for it. Oh, there you go. So now you can see that right there, it's going to need some diffusion. Sorry, not my finest cinematography there. I blinded myself. We'll recess this LED down inside a bit, and then we'll diffuse it over with some like packing material. It'll be just fine. So the packing material that you'd find at like Home Depot or whatever, this works as a pretty good diffuser. If you double it over a little bit, the LED underneath will diffuse nicely. So all I'm going to do is just cut myself a little strip of this, and then I'll be able to hot glue it in place with the LED. Apparently I need some new scissors. Holy. Oh, that got everywhere. This is probably enough. Oh yeah, really well diffused. No hot spot. One of the challenges in lighting up these lenses is that you're dealing with the polarization of the actual lens itself. And so you have to kind of work with that because it's going to focus light in a different way, which kind of makes it interesting, but it's not like you can just make it glow. That's a pretty respectable piece of recessed detail. You can look down in this direction here, and though you can't quite see the hard drive motor, you can still see that there's stuff going on down there. The next step I want to work on is a way to mount our massive lens, and it's pretty heavy. So I'm going to build a rudimentary mounting system here. That'll be mounted to a larger plate, and we'll mount this in place, a bracket here that we can then mount the lens to. The next thing we did was measured the full distance of this lens so that when we put it in there, we can slide this forward and backward to mount this in the proper place. Well, that's a pretty rudimentary mount for this big, monstrous lens. And this ring that I've been making, hopefully, will slide over this and give a nice seal on the outside so you won't be able to see the gap when it's in place. Is this a simple build? Yes. Does it add a whole new layer to a larger project? Yes. Did you find it valuable and did it give you an idea or two for your next project? Well, we certainly hope so. Again, if you haven't seen all the episodes for this build project, you're going to want to take a look at this link right here. This playlist will take you through and catch you up on the project and get you ready for the next big development that we're going to be doing on this. The next time we build something out of nothing.